And welcome, everyone, to a duo instead of a trio on our TNA takedown troop. Mikey is out and about doing probably interesting things, while Andrew and I sit here and review the latest TNA Go Home episode as we work our way to uh, Hard to Kill on Saturday, which we're all super excited about. I'll say up front, I am Will, one of the hosts, and with me today is Andrew, one of our awesome co-hosts, and we're going to just jump in. And I guess what we'll do first is if you want to just like give your overall thoughts of this episode, and then we'll kind of jump in and dig in a little bit. So I'm gonna let you go first, Andrew.
Sure. Yeah, it. There were some moments that were kind of fun to see, but a lot of the time I felt myself kind of just ready to move on to the next thing. Partially, it's because it was a whole clip show, and we've had like 4 weeks of that now,
Yeah.
and it's a go home show, and I understand what they were trying to do with kind of trying to show you stuff of the people that you're going to see at Hard to Kill, but at the same time it didn't really get me excited for Hard to Kill, and I would have
Mhm.
rather seen more build to that. So,
Yeah, I concur. I was excited, and then I saw that it was a clip show, and I immediately got unexcited. It's like I'm like, okay, yeah, and it is. It's been 4 weeks, and we've just sort of been like, can you give us something? Because build us to this, the. I mean, yeah, I agree. I didn't feel any build, like really like excitement build to Hard to Kill at all, and I'm just like, which was disappointing because I kind of, it's the go home show, and you think we're going to get some exciting stuff in here. Some I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting what we got. But yeah, so we're going to go through this not pretty quick, but it'll go as long as it goes, and then we'll do our predictions for Hard to Kill at the end. And so make sure you stick around for those. So, all right. So we started out typical, and the funny thing is when it began, and the announcers were there, and the minute they came on, I was like, "Oh, it's a clip show."
yeah, I know that setting.
Yeah, you're like, "Ah, man." All right. So, what are you going to show us tonight? So, our first match that we'll talk about was the Ultimate X match, and this is from 2022. And I had never seen this one. This was one of the two, I believe, that I had not seen. And this was pretty. It was a pretty good match. What we saw of it, of course, it was truncated, it was edited, and all that. But I thought that funny thing is the two that I have not seen tonight were both women's matches, and they were fantastic. I thought they were great,
Absolutely.
and this one was brutal, and it was so fun to watch because I had only ever seen the men's Ultimate X match. I had never actually seen the women's Ultimate X match, and this was super thrilling for me anyway because I love the women's wrestling, and I really enjoyed the wrestling of all of the women. Some of them I knew, some of them I did not. The ones I did not know, I went and looked them up, and I wish I had known more about them. Because I think I came in October, I think it was last year, so I missed this one completely. But there was some female wrestlers in there I have never heard of, and I was really kind of like, oh man, I wish I'd known more about them. It made me want to go back and watch this match in its full entire. So, but I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was a decent, dare I say, opener. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you say it made you want to go watch the match because I feel like the ones the basically abbreviated clips that we got of these matches that I enjoyed. They made me want to watch those matches,
Yeah,
but I feel like the point of this show was to make me want to watch Hard to Kill.
I agree with you.
It was cool to see like Chelsea Green in there, who
Hmm.
is in WWE now.
Right.
Lady Frost, who's in Ring of Honor right
Hmm.
now, and Rosemary, who
Hmm.
is one half of the Death Dolls. And so it was kind of cool to see some of these people who were either in old personas or people who had been away from other companies or had left to go to other companies be
Right.
involved in it. So that was a fun part. I feel like for the most part, the women's matches were the ones I enjoyed the most
Yeah.
because they had a lot of people in them.
Yeah.
Which it's funny that even on a clip show, the women can't get out of being booked in multi-women matches.
Yeah.
But they were good. They were fun stipulations, and I thought it was fun to get to watch it. I thought everyone did a really cool job. They all had their big spots. I thought it was a fun tactic that Tasha Steelz pulled to get the win. So it was fun. It was definitely one of the more highlights of the evening for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll touch on what you said. I agree. I don't think any of the matches from this evening got me excited for Hard to Kill. I mean, honestly, I mean, this was a great match, and you're right. It makes me want to go watch it, but it doesn't make me want to watch Hard to Kill. It's like, well, okay, and that's great. I mean, I guess I don't. It's one of those things. It's like that I can't stand, like in superhero movies when they go and they tell you the origin story 400 times, and that's what this felt like. It's like I get it,
Yeah.
I understand it. I know it. I know what the Ultimate X match is. I know what it is. You don't have to go back through it. You don't have to. So I really just thought, right out the gate, I was like, could you do something a little bit more related to Hard to Kill? I mean, like, get us hyped. Because I was like, I was hyped for this match. But you're right. I wasn't. I was like, well, I'm not hyped for Hard to Kill yet. Maybe it's coming soon. Hopefully. But honestly, for me, it did not. So, uh, so Tasha Steele, she obviously picked up the win in that, and then we move on into our second match, which was the one where Trent Seven and Speedball, Mike Bailey won it over the Rascals, at Final Resolution, which I really enjoyed this match when it happened.
Yeah.
And I know that and again, I know they're like, oh, these guys are going to be at Hard to Kill. They're this, that, and the other, and this is what they've done. This is how they got where they are. And the only thing that I really got excited about from rewatching this match is basically Speedball Mountain. And I just that is it was such a breath of fresh air from like the Rascals and everybody else. And I'm just like, gosh, that's so great. And I enjoyed watching the two of them work together. So I enjoyed that part of this. Again, this match didn't get me excited for Hard to Kill. It just got me excited for those guys again, which I guess is part of it, I suppose. And just how dirty the Rascals are. And I do love that. you know. So again, I enjoyed the match again, but again, it didn't really get my juices flowing for the big pay per view coming up.
Yeah, I think of all of the matches, they kind of this one was the one that tried the hardest to get the build because they showed the ending of the ABC versus the Myers and Edwards match. So we got to see the Rascals come in and attack them. So we kind of got to see also the counterplay of that during the Speedball Mountain
Right.
and Rascals match. So there was at least some storytelling there, and I think part of the thing that helped that was those matches that we saw were some of the most recent matches.
Right.
So they, of course, they have the most connection to what's happening right now.
Right. Correct.
But but yeah, all in all, like I feel like for a lot of these matches that we saw tonight, and understandably they're clip shows, I could scroll through their Instagram and probably catch all of these matches that they're going to post.
Yeah.
But
I will admit that in the ones that I had seen already, I did kind of fast forward at times. I was like, okay, we've seen. Okay, let me get to the good points, and I would like get to the good. Oh, there we go. Let's watch that little bit. No, okay, let me scroll through. It's like, so I did end up doing a lot of that because it's not that the match wasn't exciting. It's just that it's like, okay, I've seen that. I get it. I get what you're doing, but let's go to the next one. Let's see if that one gets me going. And this one again. This match got me excited for this match, and it did get me a little excited about Bailey and. I mean, it really kind of got me a little bit excited about seeing them at Hard to Kill fight, going against the other tag teams. But in a grand scheme, eh, eh. So then, yeah, after that, after Trent and Speedball won over the Rascals, we get to a promo. Sorry, my nose is itching. By the Grizzled Young Vets. And this was actually one of my highlights of the night. It's only because he went back and kicked that guy's ass. Just like, so you have the GYV coming up the Florida boardwalk talking about they're coming, and it was actually quite refreshing. And then the guy bumps into him, and they look at each other, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, go ahead." So he goes back and just like whoops his butt, and while the other one just kept going, he's just like, it was, and you can see it happening. It was actually a really good moment. I actually really enjoyed that little promo. I was like, okay, I have a little bit of hope that maybe the rest of the show is going to be better.
Yeah, I think that them putting that promo there was good because in my mind, it all felt like one segment. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was like, here are the four teams that you're going to see in this match wrestling for the tag team titles. I do know the grizzled young vets from outside of TNA, so kind of being excited to see them here is really cool. So I feel excited for this match because of the people relatively new to TNA, like Trent Seven and the Grizzled Young Vets. I had seen them previously, so I'm excited for what we're gonna get. So yeah, I think they put this portion of all the segments together really well. And yeah, I'm super excited for Grizzled Young Vets to be there for TNA because I think that they're going to fit in really, really well there.
Right. And this goes along with my breath of fresh air
Mm-hmm.
comment, because it's just nice to see tag teams other than the same olds. It's like we see the Rascals all the time. We see ABC all the time. We see the Motor City Machine Guns all the time. It's like, I get it, they're staples, whatever. But can we get some new tag teams in? Can we get some new blood? And even though they're not new, quote unquote, it is exciting to see these sort of new tag teams coming in. And even with like Mike Bailey and Trent Seven, even though they are literally a sort of like, let's just put them together and let them do whatever, it's still that breath of fresh air, because it's like, oh, look, something exciting to watch. That's not the same old. Because it's like, and I always talk to Mikey about it. Is like, I love the bad boy Rascals. I love them, but it's the same thing over and over and over again. Every time they wrestle, it's, what you're getting. Same thing with ABC. Same way with Motor City Machine Guns. You know what you're getting. So it's kind of like, okay, oh, it's an exciting match, but I know what
Yeah,
I'm getting. But when you get new tag teams and you don't know them that well, and you're like, I know of you, or I may have seen you once or twice, and then we put them in there. So that's why I'm kind of really excited about this match at Hard to Kill, this 4-way, because we're putting these sort of two newer tag teams up against the two standards, and I'm curious and excited to see how that unfolds. Because truly, it's probably one of the matches that I am most excited about.
yeah, it should be a really good match of tag team wrestling because Trent Seven and Mike Bailey we know that they're good. So we know
Mhm.
we're going to get good work out of them. And the other three are phenomenal tag teams. And so,
Absolutely.
all 8 of those performers are going to put on an amazing show. And we're also going to, like, because they're experienced tag team performers, all of them, we're going to get really good tag team work too.
I agree.
So I'm excited for it.
I'm very excited. I was telling Mikey, I was like, I don't know why, but I'm really excited about the tag team championship. I'm like super excited about it. And I'm not, and I mean, I like tag team. I think tag team is super fun and cool, but I'm really excited about this one. This one's got me excited. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. So yeah, so we have that nice little promo, that fun little promo. And then we go into the Tommy Dreamer saga and Crazy Steve. And we watched this match from back in November of last year. And and of course this was the fight with that I was sort of started to turn on the idea of Tommy Dreamer, because he kind of turned into this crazy kind of guy, and I kind of enjoyed it. However, as much as I love Tommy Dreamer, and I hope they find something to do with him, but I think it's time for him to step aside, so to speak. But I am excited about this match at Hard to Kill. I am excited about it because it's a no DQ, so it's whatever you do is what you do. So I mean, it's literally like, let's put crazy on top of crazy and see what happens.
Yeah, my biggest gripe with this is like watching this match. I did feel like it was pretty limited, but there were some good moments in it. But I felt like those good moments either were built so Tommy Dreamer could excel at them, or Crazy Steve was the one that was carrying the bulk of the weight.
Right.
And I also see where we went from, because having seen the build up to that match, and then knowing they're now at a deep no DQ match for this, but it was like we literally had no promos of
No.
Crazy Steve going, see, the only way that you could, and you couldn't even beat me. You got disqualified or whatever to retain the title. And
Right.
then have that build up to the point where they're like, fine, next time we do it, no DQ, hard to kill, and build up that way. But we got none of that.
No. And this would have been a good episode for
Yeah.
that too. They could have done some really good, like, baiting with each other in this episode, and they didn't. And I agree. And I'm just like, this match is coming out of nowhere, and now it's beginning to irritate me now, because originally it was building, and then we had that match, and then we see at the which one was it when he came out and attacked him? Oh, I don't remember which one that was. When
Oh,
Tommy
it
Dreamer
was,
came out.
yeah, when Tommy Dreamer came out, that was before this match. It was
Yeah,
the Bound for Glory.
that's right. And he came out and attacked
The shock
Crazy
gauntlet.
Steve because Crazy Steve was trying to attack.
Yeah, yeah, because he was
So
tagging with his friends in the ring. Yeah,
yeah, and so I was like, okay, I'm kind of on board with this Tommy Dreamer now. I'm like, okay, cool. And then this match happened, and then it was like radio silence,
yeah, absolutely.
and I'm just like, well, what what's going on? It's like, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, they're going to be fighting it, hard to kill and and no DQ match, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, it
cool,
felt like for a while that they had almost forgotten about, like they had dropped this
yeah.
storyline, because
They're
he
like,
got,
oh crap.
yeah. So it was, there's so much more they could have done with this, especially when they're trying to build Tommy Dreamer to be the champion and Crazy
Yeah.
Steve coming after him. I will say one of the highlights of this match was I happened to be watching this while my wife was with me, and so she saw him hit him with the fork, and it came out blood, and she's like, "Wait, did he really just?" And I was explaining, how they do it,
Oh, yeah.
and so she was like, she was just because like she looked up at the part where Tommy Dreamer was driving,
Hmm.
like pushing the fork into his forehead. So it was just a fun moment of like, yeah, it's real blood, but there's other aspects to it. But it was a funny to see that reaction.
Yeah. That is funny. I mean, even I know the gimmickiness of it. I know the
Yeah.
theatricality of it. I know all of that, but it was
Mhm.
still exciting to see. I mean, even I was kind of like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know it's not real, but oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So we'll get to see
Yeah.
the hopefully Tommy Dreamer one more time
Hmm.
in that digital media championship title,
If
and
they
then
build it right, it could be a really good match.
I agree with
But
you. I
we'll
totally
see.
agree. There has been no build to it though. That's the thing. So I mean, it could be a sleeper. We could get there, it happened, and we'd be like, "Oh my god, what just happened?"
Yeah.
But I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, because it's on the countdown show too, so
Mm-hmm.
it'll be interesting to see how much time they give it.
All right, so moving on from Tommy Dreamer for now. Oh, this is another one that I did not see. I'm sorry, completely forgot about this one. This is the Kushida. I think it was Kushida versus Mike Bailey. I never saw this match either, and I watched this sort of. This was from. This was right before I came on board, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And this is the first time I've actually seen like Kushida like full on like fighting,
Yeah.
and I had to go and try to find this whole match and watch it, and I found it kinda, and I watched it, and it was intense. It kind of reminded me of the Bailey Osprey fight. I was like, ooh, ooh, oh my goodness. And I have to say, I am a huge Kushida fan. Man, wow, he is a weapon. I was just like, wow.
Yeah, I could. I There's a part of me that would not be surprised if they're now that Shelley or Sabin has gotten his 10th win and he's had that title for a little while now, of them putting that on Kushida because Kushida he's really good and
You're not
he's super
kidding.
popular. And this match, Bailey, I mean, Bailey this whole year has been every match that I've seen him in, I've absolutely enjoyed, whether it was singles or tag team.
Yeah,
It was a fast paced, fun match with a lot of technical aspects, which was really cool to see
yeah,
them go back and forth between those. So I guess, this was kind of our build up to Kushida being in that X Division title match. But for as much as it was fun to see him wrestle. But again, I didn't have any association with, oh yeah, like I can't wait to see this guy win the title because I was already interested in Kushida. So maybe that's for me and other people who aren't as familiar with him. This is a way to get them
right.
interested too.
Yeah, man, he's great. And the one of my moments of the night was when Bailey did that top rope bounce.
When
I was
Kushida
just like,
stepped through the ropes,
yeah, I was like, what just
yeah,
happened? I was
yeah,
just like, I had to like rewind it and watch it again. I was like, that was crazy. Man, because Mike Bailey, he is so like acrobatic, and I just love that about him. And yeah, I get very excited whenever Mike Bailey fights. I just know it's going to be a show. It's going to be great to watch. And and now with Kushida in my teeth, I'm like, now I want to see more of him, and I'll get extremely excited if his name pops up on something because man, holy goodness, like
yeah.
holy goodness. And of course, we have the three way with Kushida, Sabin, and
Vikingo.
Vikingo,
That match is
who is
great.
another crazy, awesome. So I think this match is going to be insane.
Oh, absolutely. This is old school X Division match right here. This
Right.
is You've got one of the best X Division, like original X Division wrestlers. You've got a guy who's worked in Japan and America and done a lot of stuff like that, and you've got Vikingo who's from Mexico. So it's this like international clash of
Oh
like
yeah.
incredibly skilled wrestlers. That it's I
Yeah.
like the three that they picked from this, and I don't even care that we didn't have a build up. It's
You know,
the
me
excitement just
too.
no, yeah,
I'm just like, this is the other one that I'm really excited about. And again, not it wasn't until I saw Kushida, because I saw Vikingo fight in when they were down in Mexico, and I saw him do his thing, and I was like, oh yeah, he's badass. And then I saw Kushida, and I'm like, holy crap! And then I already know Chris Sabin, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like a triple threat. People are gonna die, and I'm kind of excited for it. I'm like, I agree. Whoever wins this match, I'm on board with.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
honestly, I know I had to pick somebody, but I think this is one of those matches where I'm like, whoever wins, yay.
Yeah. And even the other two that lose, no one's going to come out of this a loser. Like
Mm-mm.
everyone's going to go out there, and people are going to become more fans of them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
This is, I think this is going to be a highlight. This match, I really do. I really think it is. I think it might overshadow some of the other matches that we're going to be getting, to be quite honest.
yes,
At least I believe that. So yeah, Kushida, Vikingo, and Chris Sabin will face off in the X Division Championship at Hard to Kill. Super excited about this one. And then, of course, they did an announcement about Josh Alexander will face Alex Hammerstone. And then we get a match where he fought Jonah
yeah,
at Hard to Kill 2022. Jeez Louise, that man is big.
yeah, right.
Holy cripes. I was like,
And
it came from nowhere.
yeah, he's not just big; he's
I mean,
dense.
like powerhouse. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what I mean by big. I didn't mean like size wise, but I mean, he's like, and I was just like,
but yeah, I mean, he's not just. I mean,
wow.
he's at least Shelley's or Alexander's height,
But he
but
was,
like the
God.
density of him, you just feel like when you see most wrestlers like hit the ground or hit things, you feel like it's a soft thing hitting a hard thing. With him, it was like when he got thrown into chairs or the railing or whatever, you're like, I don't know which took worse. Like,
I know. I was like, y'all might want to check on that railing. It's like, man, this was a heck of a match. This is the other one I never saw. So I guess I saw more. I guess there were more than just two I'd never seen. I just didn't realize it. How funny! But this fight was brutal. I mean, wow. I mean, when they went off into the audience, and then Josh Alexander goes up and jumps. I was just like, how are you guys not dead? I mean, it's like, Jonah's a big man, and he's like, stout and probably impenetrable. But man, when Josh hit him and he went into those chairs, I was like, he's got to have a chair sticking out of his back. I mean, he hit those so hard, and and then I just, wow, I was floored by this one. I knew that like Josh Alexander's like a powerhouse in his own right, but man, to go up against a tank like that and still be standing, because there was a couple of times that Jonah hit him, and I was like, he's done. I was like, he's done. Like when he came up to him, he's like, hit me, hit me, hit me, and he hit him, and he went down. I was like, I think that's it, because I think he might be dead. Come on, check his pulse, please.
well, and then though, for Alexander to turn around and hit some of those suplexes and that power bomb, like, I mean, that you just felt the impact of him slamming
That,
him.
yeah, that finishing, was it a power? Yeah, the power bomb at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez, Louis, I felt the whole building shake.
It's like you can see the ring jump.
Yeah, you could see it just like reverberating, and I was just like, oh my god. The fact that he picked that man up and I was just like, wow. I mean, I got vocal. I got vocal. I got vocal.
Well, and this
And it,
was a good match to show Josh Alexander
yeah,
facing a big opponent because Alexander Hamilton
Alexander Hamilton, get him, get Alexander Hamilton, shoot your shot.
Hammerstone. He's a big beefy boy too.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously a slightly different build, but he is not just a muscular guy. He's got a lot of muscles, and so it's good to show like what Josh Alexander can do against somebody else who can outstrength him. So I
Yeah.
thought that was a good thing, especially because this was another match that was just announced
Yeah.
basically as an image. So we got not a lot of build up to it, but having seen Hammerstone, because I saw him in MLW,
Right.
and so seeing him over there, I got to see a lot of what he could do. So I was excited to see this because I know he had come up on his contract with MLW, so it was cool to see that he was. I mean, I think theoretically he's signing to TNA. I don't know if this is a limited appearance or anything like that, but to see him come in and face off against Josh Alexander is pretty cool. I'm excited
Yeah.
to see what they do because they could do a lot of really cool things together.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the one between, if the Alexander Hammerstone fight is anything like the Alexander Jonah fight, I'm like, hell yes, hell yes, because man, and we know, and I mean, we know Josh Alexander is a damn good fighter. I mean, we know this, and I think you're right. It is really neat to see how very much he is able to stand his own against these massive walls, and I love that. I think that's great. So I think this is going to be a pretty decent match as well. We do get a lot of like teasing through this whole episode about them sitting down and interviewing Moose and Shelly and things of that, in which we'll get to eventually. Then we talk about the Knockouts Championship between Jordan Grace and Trinity, and then we sort of talk, and then we to basically accent Jordan Grace. We talk about the Slammiversary 2022 Queen of the Mountain match. And again, the women blow me out of the water
Yeah, so good.
because, wow, one of my favorite moments and most terrifying moments was when Perazzo and
Green,
Green
green.
were up on the top of
Yeah,
that ladder and they pushed it over. I was like, I was like, and I didn't know what was down on the floor. I didn't see the tables. And then they hit those tables, and I was just like, oh my God. And I think there was a moment when the camera went to them and they were like lifting the table. And I think Deanna Perazzo was like, we're good. That's like, there's something happened. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That
I mean
was like, wow.
that was the ladder in the ring, all the way to the floor.
All the way.
It's
That
yeah,
was a massive ladder. What is that? A 16-foot ladder? That thing is
at least
huge. And
yeah.
I'm like, they were at the top of that thing, and it went over. I mean, oh my God, I thought I wanted to throw up because I was like, I was thinking, because I'm one of those visual people, I'm very visceral that way, and all I could see is myself at the top of that ladder falling, and I was like, I would be dead. I would be like dead. Hit because I would probably miss the table, but I mean, I was like, oh my God, that was like insane. And then them fighting every time they try to put one of the girls in the cage, they were constantly, oh my God, it was crazy. These women they were crazy.
Well, and to have Mickey James as the
Yeah.
special enforcer,
Yeah.
that was really cool
They
too.
kept fighting her. And they're like, was the hit her with the door. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Tasha Steeles, and yeah,
Yeah, it was crazy. This match was insane. And I mean, again, and I'll say it again and again and again. Sometimes the women outdo the men's matches. I would put this match up against a lot of the men's matches because these women were trying to kill each other, like kill each other, and I
this,
enjoyed it.
yeah, the stipulation, the like top of the mountain kind of stipulation, because they have the king of the mountain too,
Right.
is such a interesting match design that
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the few that's like outside of those standards that we think of that has a really fun idea to it. It feels unique. And these women, they killed it in this match. It was fun to see like Josie Green again.
Yeah.
Mia Yim was in this. Deanna Perrazzo obviously was in this.
Yeah.
So it was fun to see a mix of people we've seen over the last few months and then people who were here like the
Yeah,
previous year.
absolutely.
I would love to see more of Chelsea Green and Mia Yim back in TNA. I think they're
I
so good.
liked
But
her.
yeah, well, she's on SmackDown now.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
you mentioned something about that earlier.
yeah. Well, Chelsea Green was on Raw, I believe, and she was one half of the women's tag team champions for a while. I think they just lost their titles not too long ago.
Okay.
And then Mia Yim, I was actually just reading up on them to see where they have been to. Mia Yim is part of the OC, which is the AJ Styles stable on SmackDown with Luke
Oh, cool.
Gallows and Carl Anderson, because they were all original members of the Bullet Club.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Cool.
and Mia Yim
Yeah.
joined them. So,
This
yeah,
was I had never actually experienced this type of match before. I love this because normally these types of matches you're trying to get something down.
yeah,
In this one you have to actually put it up. And I thought that was unique and fun. I was like, well, that's neat because usually they're trying to clamor out or trying to get and then it's like no, it's like getting it up there. And I was like, wow. And of course, Jordan Grace wins this. She gets the title belt up there and takes it from Tasha Steeles. And then we get after this match, which I was still reeling from because it was so nail biting. God, man, when that ladder fell, it's gonna give me nightmares. Um, we do get the highlight package. Basically, let's see how our champion and their challenger got where they are, and we get the Josh Alexander winning the title from Christian in their first world championship, and then immediately, and that was a very beautiful moment. It was very touching, actually. And I was like, oh, and then Moose comes out and immediately is like, all right, I'm challenging you, boom, and then takes him out instantaneously. I was like, oh my God. See, I never saw this either. These little clips. This one I never saw. I saw the Shelly ones, but this one I had never seen before. And I was like, oh my God. Wow. I mean, just the force that Moose hit him with that. I was like, which is unusual because he just fought Jonah. I mean, not Jonah, Christian. And Christian is not a little man, and then Moose just comes in and knocks him down with one hit. And I mean, I get he just did a fight, but still, I thought, wow, that was really easy. I was like,
I you bring up Christian's size when they hugged. I was like,
yeah,
Christian's taller than Josh
he is.
Alexander. It's like
Yeah,
I would not have expected that.
yeah,
Uh,
me either.
yeah, and then the way that I think Moose played it, kind of turning in his challenge for the title, because they did it really well of like playing with the setting, but also the audience's emotions because everyone was all excited for Josh Alexander and his family was there and everything. So to have this guy come in and challenge, and obviously at that setting, Alexander is worried more about his family, and then it just sets him up for Moose's finisher.
Yep,
So yeah, I mean, it was kind of interesting to see that. I appreciated this because it definitely was not any longer than it had to be.
true, true.
So that was nice.
It was my whole thing was like, wow, he hit him once. I was like, I was expecting maybe a couple of hits, maybe like hit, and then Moose finishes him, but it was like spear down. I
Yeah,
was like, ooh, okay, all right. It's like, well done, Moose. Well done, sir. So then we move on to the clip of Alex Shelley and Steve Macklin.
yeah.
And I actually went and I saw this match. Like I went back prior to this one because Mikey was like, "Oh, you need to see the match," and I was like, "Okay."
Oh,
So I
this
went
right
and
here.
watched. This one I actually went and watched it, and the whole match is really good. Like Steve Macklin, I mean, he's another big powerhouse, and Shelley is a lot sprier than that, and to watch these two, dare I say, juxtaposition of men in this full fight was, man, it was insane. It was good. I really enjoyed this. Even the clip version of it was really good. Because it's just neat to watch. I've really kind of really gotten to the point where I really like Alex Shelley, like his style, and he needs to cut his hair though. But I do like his style. He needs to go back because they were showing clips of him when he was younger. He needs to go back to his younger hairstyle.
Did you see that clip of him when he was first making his first entrance in
Yes,
TNA? Oh
yes,
my!
yeah. I know. It's so funny when you see all these guys in their first moments. It's like, wow, they're so young, so young. Because I think he was only in his 20s, if I'm not mistaken, like 26, I think, or something like that. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
But we see him take the belt from Macklin, and then they talk about how Moose will challenge Shelley at TNA Hard to Kill for the world title, and then we go into this interview. I No, I don't know. I don't get what they were doing. This interview I felt was useless. it was. It didn't get exciting until the end, and I'm like, could we have just not done that and called it good? I mean, honestly, because I was like, the questions from the media and the questions were. I'm not saying they were stupid, but they were kind of stupid, and I just was like, why? Why are we doing this? No, just have them come out and be like, Moose is challenging Shelley. Have them say some nasty things to each other, and then have them, like they're going to go at it and then go out and be like,
yeah.
that would have gotten me more excited than this dumb interview. I was like, I mean, and Tom Hannafan, God bless him. But it's first of all, I'm like, Tom, there is no way you're going to break these two men up if they start fighting. So don't even try. Just when they get up in each other, just walk away. It's like,
This was just like get out of here. You don't. Yeah,
yeah, he was like, get out of here. It's like, I'd be like, you know what? I don't get paid enough,
yeah.
and I
It's
will
not my
walk.
job.
So they go through various questions and like passive aggressively like talk crap about each other, and and it did not get me excited for their match at all. It kind of was like, no, okay.
Yeah,
I was like, all
I was
right.
more excited by the clips we saw last week of Shelley for
Yeah,
this than
yeah,
getting to see the actual try to build.
yeah.
I
Mm.
The recap of certain things, like for people that didn't know that Moose during Impact brought back the TNA Heavyweight Championship title, the history of the two competitors. I think we could have got all of this in a video package. They could have
Absolutely.
they could have just had someone narrate over some clips, so clips of their old matches,
Yeah,
highlights of like their entry, like all the stuff that they showed anyway.
yeah.
Cut
Because
it
we didn't
together.
get anything from the interview. We didn't get anything from it other than they think highly of themselves.
Yeah,
And how many times can Moose say keys? I mean, literally, I was like, is your next line the keys? Because that's what it feels like. And then he's like, what keys? Keys to what? I'm like, oh, please stop. Please
yeah,
stop. Just stop.
yeah.
You're just embarrassing yourselves. Stop it. Just stop it.
Well,
Because
especially
at that
because
point,
I know it's going to be a good match.
oh, yeah, it is.
So it was like you made me less interested in a match I know is going to be good. So I'm hoping I can just kind of brush that off from the end of this as we go into tomorrow night. And luckily, it's going to be the main event, so I have hopefully a really good to build up to it.
Right. God bless. I hope so. I really do. Because this interview, I was like, wow, never have I ever seen, never has something literally turned me off from something like this interview did. I mean, again, we know it's going to be a good match, but I literally, as I was watching this interview, I was like, I have no interest in this interview. I literally am like, no, okay. It's like, I'm like, can we go back to the good old days where it was just you come in, you insult and yell and scream at each other, hit each other with a brick, and then go to the big event in the next day? Can we get back to that, please? Because these interviews, I mean, when they did it in what was that in NXT? They did it with all the women. They had them up on the thing, and it was like it went into insanity. And it was like that was dumb. Stop
Mhm.
interviewing people. Let them fight each other. That's what wrestling is.
It's
Let them
I
wrestle.
hate, I hate contract signings in the ring
Oh, me
because
too.
they all turn the same way. But I would have rather have seen that
Yeah.
than this interview.
In this interview, I mean, I would rather watch paint dry than have had to have watched this interview because it was so bad. It was so bad.
It
And
was
then
longer than it needed to be. Yeah.
I mean, the only exciting thing about it was at the very end when I was looking at it, and the only thing I was in my mind was like, "Wow, Moose is really tall."
Yeah.
That was it. I didn't get, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! Look at him facing off." I was like, "Wow, he's really tall." I didn't realize how tall he was, until Shelley, who looks like he's 3 feet,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Wow!" And that's literally where I was at the end of that interview. Not, "Ooh, I can't wait for them to square off." No, I literally was like, "Wow, he's tall."
Which says something right there.
Yeah. So that wonderful interview that we got ends our episode for the evening as we all get ready for the Hard to Kill pay per view on Saturday. And I guess we need to score this.
I, yeah, I'm not really sure how to score this one.
I don't either, other than the two women's matches I really enjoyed. I enjoyed watching the Shelley Macklin, and I enjoyed watching the Josh Christian Moose thing. But I mean, overall, I mean, it was just a clip show, and it didn't build to anything. It was very passive aggressive. It's like we have a big pay per view coming up. It's like really, this last episode didn't build to it at all. Like it did not get me at all excited about the pay per view at all. I mean, truly. I mean, luckily we have other things to get us excited for about it, but this was not one of them. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I mean, scoring it, if I had to score it, I'd probably give it a 5, and that's being generous
yeah,
because there wasn't really much value to it. Really, I know that's really harsh to say, but it really wasn't. I mean, truly, and it ended on a. It began with a,
yeah,
and it ended with a,
yeah,
because the interview was horrible. So if I had
yeah.
to score it, that's what I'd give it.
Yeah, I mean, as a clip show, I'd probably give it like maybe a 7 because the women's matches were fun. The Bailey Kushida match was interesting. There were some of the other ones in clips, and I thought like how they tried to build the tag team matchup was done well. I think everything overall could have been a little better and a little more interesting. As a go home show for your first pay per view as your rebranded company, TNA, yeah, I give it like a 4. It just go home shows are hard to do. Like there's been a lot of rough go home shows. I feel like in across promotions lately, but
Right.
this was just not it. This did not get me excited for it. And if I was tuning in to like, let me see what Hard to Kill is going to be about, I don't know that this would make me go like, oh no,
Gotten
I'm really
anything.
this. Yeah,
You're like, wait, oh, this is going to be something.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'll
I
just watch
agree.
the next show when they show me everything that happened.
Yeah, and it's so, and they have, and I understand they want Hard to Kill to be their big launch or
Yeah,
relaunch, and I get that. But my God, can we please? They could have used these 4 weeks to really build to Hard to Kill. I mean, it could have just been like what they did with like past matches and things, but then put in some promo interviews with the actual like what they're going to be doing, and get us excited for it. And we didn't. I mean, we didn't see anything about. We didn't hear anything from Trinity.
yeah.
We didn't hear anything from. Let's see who else. I'm trying to go
We
down.
have it would have been nice to know why. One single reason why PCO versus Dirty Dango is on the
On the
main
main
card.
card.
Like something. I was willing to buy that maybe you have some reasoning. Maybe there's going to be something there, and we got nothing.
No, we got nothing on it. And I really don't understand why that's on the main card, but
Yeah. title, yeah, the digital
Yeah,
media.
the digital media is on the pre-show, and I don't understand that at all.
Right.
I
So
mean, what the heck, guys? So, yeah, I was one of those. I didn't realize until we were doing our predictions that the PCO Dirty Dango was on the main card. I thought it was actually part of the pre-show, and then I was like, wait, it's on the main card. What? What? No, no, surely not. Surely that's a misprint. No, it's not at all. It's actually on the main card. And I'm just like, maybe it's a palate cleanser. I mean,
or
it's
maybe
a
yeah,
comic.
maybe something's going to happen in it that's going to set up for other things, but I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. Yeah. So that's our go home episode before we hit Hard to Kill on Saturday. So make sure we're going to end that here for tonight, but make sure you come back here right immediately because we're going to give you our predictions for Hard to Kill. So for now, we'll see you soon as we go into our predictions video. So until we see you again in a couple of minutes, this is two of the three amigos that are the TNA takedown troop. And until next time, stay cool, stay on the mat, don't get pinned. See you later, guys.